King Charles did not secretly crown Catherine or change the line of succession. But he has given her something she has never held before: real authority inside the royal household. Catherine is now among the senior royals, able to grant royal warrants, alongside King Charles, Queen Camilla, and Prince William. On paper, that may sound like a small palace decision. It isn't, because Charles gave Catherine this authority while she is still Princess of Wales, before William becomes king and before Catherine becomes queen. And when you combine that decision with the way her public role has changed, a much bigger picture begins to appear. The palace isn't simply waiting for Catherine's future role. It is allowing parts of that role to grow now. So what exactly has changed? And why could it matter for William's future reign? A royal warrant allows a senior royal to recognize businesses that regularly provide goods or services to the royal household. In simple terms, Catherine can now give certain businesses an official royal mark of recognition. The important part isn't the paperwork. It's the trust behind it. Charles could have left that responsibility with himself, Camilla, and William. Instead, Catherine was included. It doesn't make her more powerful than William. It doesn't change who inherits the throne, but it does show that Catherine is being trusted with a more established role within the institution before she becomes queen. And that brings us to something even bigger. Charles isn't preparing Catherine to compete with William. He appears to be strengthening the person who will eventually stand beside him. That distinction matters. William will one day carry the responsibilities of the monarch, but a successful reign is rarely about one person alone. The person standing beside the monarch can become one of the royal family's strongest connections with the public. And Catherine's relationship with the public changed dramatically during one of the hardest periods of her life. When Catherine announced in March 2024 that she was undergoing cancer treatment, she stepped away from most public duties. For months, people weren't simply asking when the Princess of Wales would attend another event. They were concerned about Catherine herself. Then when she began appearing publicly again, something felt different. There were fewer appearances, but each one attracted enormous attention. Her return wasn't rushed. She gradually stepped back into public life while continuing to put her recovery and family first. And that may have demonstrated something important. Catherine didn't need to be everywhere to remain important to the monarchy. Her absence had shown how closely many people had become connected to her. Her return showed that connection was still there. King Charles was also undergoing cancer treatment during this period, giving both the king and Catherine personal experience of carrying public responsibility while facing serious health challenges. We cannot know every private conversation between them, but publicly, Charles continued supporting William and Catherine as they balanced royal duties with Catherine's recovery. And William made his own priorities clear. When his family needed him, he reduced some public commitments. That decision challenged an older image of royal duty, the idea that personal difficulty should always remain hidden while the public schedule continues unchanged. William chose family, and Catherine returned at a pace that worked for her health, rather than simply responding to public pressure. The monarchy continued, the public remained interested, and Catherine's position did not disappear because she temporarily stepped away. If anything, her major appearances began carrying even more weight. That gives us a clearer picture of what William and Catherine's future monarchy could eventually look like. Not a rejection of duty. A different way of balancing it. William will eventually inherit the crown if the normal line of succession continues. Catherine will not share his constitutional position as monarch, but she could become crucial to something a title alone cannot guarantee: public connection. And that's why the Royal Warrant decision matters. By itself, it isn't a revolution. It doesn't mean Catherine is secretly running the monarchy, and it certainly doesn't mean Charles has chosen her over William. It means something simpler and more believable. Catherine is being trusted with greater responsibility now rather than being expected to wait for the day her title changes. That is the real signal. William is preparing for the responsibilities that may eventually come with being king. Catherine is developing a role beside him that is increasingly her own, and Charles appears willing to give that partnership room to develop while he is still on the throne. Perhaps that will prove important in the years ahead, because succession can determine who receives the crown. It cannot determine whether the public feels connected to the people wearing it. William may eventually carry the legal responsibility of kingship, but Catherine could become one of the strongest human connections between his future monarchy and the public. King Charles didn't secretly crown Catherine. He didn't need to. The more important development may be happening much more quietly. Catherine is being trusted to grow into the future before that future officially arrives. The crown may eventually belong to William, but the strength of his reign could depend greatly on the partnership standing beside it. Do you think Catherine will become one of the monarchy's strongest connections with the public? Share your view below and subscribe to Celeb Burst News. For more royal family stories where we separate confirmed developments from palace speculation,